Gotta do that one over again. For the live stream, at least. Oh, shit. Right. Oh, my God. Well, if you don't want to listen to this live mess, we are on other podcast platforms. What's it called? Podbean, Spotify, iTunes. I came in with way too much energy there in the beginning, but I'm gonna redo it since no one could hear it. Why was I turned down? God damn it. Anyway, I'm gonna start up the thing. And let's start over. Hello! And welcome back to the Spoilercast. The show where we talk about movies and we don't care about spoiling them because it's the Spoilercast. And today we are once again talking about the Conjuring universe. And this is the third episode. And if you're wondering, if you're watching this on YouTube or listening on Spotify or wherever, and you're thinking, what do you mean the third part? You've only done 2 parts to it, if you count this one. Well, that's because part 2 is on Patreon. So if you want to hear the entire trilogy of Conjuring episodes, check us out on Patreon. We would also get tons of other exclusive episodes. You'll get exclusive videos, commentary tracks for movies, and you get to choose what movies we watch and talk about in the future on this podcast. But let's get on with the show. Right. I am Tobias, and this is my sister and trusty co-host, Rebecca. Hello. Welcome. Yes. Wait. Here we go. Now they can hear you.
Oh.
Why? Once again, I came in with way too much energy. I was not prepared. And honestly, just to talk a little quickly about why, because, even though we've talked about some movies that we liked here with The Conjuring, the first 2 Conjuring movies are good, and a little hint, if you haven't watched the sneak preview, which is on the YouTube channel from the Patreon episode, I did like one of the Annabelle movies, liked it a lot actually. But today, first of all, I watched some of the, I listened to some of the episodes we've made earlier, and I feel like sometimes I'm kind of low energy. When there's movies I'm not happy with, or if I just watched the movie and I'm kind of, burnt out, if it's a bad movie, I'm kind of low energy, and I want to work on that. And I really felt like this could have been a low energy episode, so I really wanted to hit it with a bang.
Because we are talking about horror movies, though. I mean, they're not usually very cheerful and upbeat.
No,
so
but I mean,
the tone
if it's a good horror movie, I'd be like, yeah, I want to talk about this. Whoa! Yeah, but if it's a bad movie, it's like, I don't want to talk about this. And that's how it is today. Spoilers, because we watched and are going to talk about The Curse of La Llorona and The Nun.
Yes,
but in the opposite order.
Yes.
It's the two spin-offs in the Conjuring universe.
The 2 more separate movies, I suppose.
Yes. Because you have the Conjuring series, and then you have the Annabelle trilogy,
which technically is a spin-off, but
it's a spin-off, but it's its own franchise
in
and of itself now, you can say. Well, these are one-offs. I mean, they're working on a second Nun movie. I don't know why, but they are.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's just get into it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start with The Nun, because it was the first one to come out of these 2. It's 2018. Yes. And well, if you are a fan of the YouTube channel, where I review movies and where you can watch the podcast, I did review this back in, was it October 2018? I think so. September, October 2018. And well, yeah, I didn't like it.
Probably when it premiered in Sweden, so
yes,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. So you can watch that if you want a denser summation of my thoughts. But let's start.
Or if you haven't seen La Llorona and you don't want to get that spoiled, I guess.
Sure. So let's start with you, Rebecca.
Yeah.
What did you think of The Nun. You saw it with me, right? The
I
first
believe
time.
so. I do believe so. I know I've seen it in theaters. I'm betting it's with you because no one else will go see horror movies with me, probably. Not really. Not even back then. But honestly, I don't remember much. I didn't remember much about the movie.
No. Big
I
big surprise.
Yeah. I remember like it was creepy, but it wasn't a good movie. It's very I don't know, it feels it's very confusing, to be honest.
Yes. It's a lot of it's very scatterbrain, as some people say.
Yeah.
It's a lot of different ideas for horror stuff, but they don't come together very well.
No.
But what did you think this time, rewatching it?
I still didn't like it, but now I know more specifically why. I guess.
Okay.
Like I get the idea. I see what they were trying to do, but it's like they went overkill
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. I can agree to
with
that.
with some of the like horror aspects that they were trying to create. Specifically like the darkness, the whole because I've mentioned in the other episodes that I like the thing where you have the spooky stuff hiding in the shadows and you don't really see it because I don't like it when it's up in your face, obviously like too physical almost. This one in the beginning is too much in the dark. Like I have my brightness on my screens turned up max when I watch
Okay.
horror movies because you can't see shit. And this one is literally pitch black like 80% of the time. You don't see the horror, and even the sound sometimes disappears.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
that
a
was the quality I was watching it, but like when you when you're watching the movie and you see Sister Irene, she's like reacting, there's something behind her, and then the subtitle says that something is making a noise, someone says something, but you don't see anyone, you don't hear anyone.
maybe you just need to turn up the volume.
No, I got it at max as well.
Oh, okay, okay.
It happened a few times, and I was thinking maybe it's the version I'm watching, maybe that just the audio just cut out or something. I don't know. But I did remember reacting that way as well in the theaters.
Okay.
That certain things were subtitled, but I didn't hear it.
Huh. All
I was
right.
like, what?
Yeah,
What's the point of that?
there are some whispering stuff towards the end and in the beginning. Or I
Yeah,
guess the
all of
when they
it.
do get to the cloister or the monastery or whatever.
Castle.
Yeah, well, it is a cloister.
Yeah, but it
I
is a
mean, it's
castle.
not supposed. It wasn't a cloister. Let's go over the story because there's not a lot,
Yeah.
so we can do that pretty quickly. A priest and a nun, or whatever they call it, novitiate,
No, 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 yeah, something like that.
something like that.
No
She hasn't taken
vision.
the final vows yet. Journey to a cloister in
Romania.
Romania. Yes, Romania in the 1950s to investigate the apparent suicide of a nun. And when they get there, they discover that evil things are abound. And then
Yeah.
jump scares, jump scares, jump scares, jump scares, jump scares. No character arc really to speak of. More jump scares. Demon nun. Ah, ends.
Basically.
um, and this we should also say that this is kind of a prequel to The Conjuring 2 because it deals with the same demon, Valak.
I didn't remember though the like end scenes that connected this with the first Conjuring very clearly.
Well, it
I did
connects it
not
with The
remember that.
Conjuring. It connects it. I mean,
Yeah, but like that
it's all
super clear
connected. It all takes
connect.
place in the same universe. That's why
Yeah,
they're.
but I didn't realize that Frenchie was the guy in the beginning of the
Oh,
Conjuring that
okay,
was
okay.
following the lecture. I completely lost that. Like, nah, didn't remember that. It didn't feel right either because he doesn't look like him in the first movie.
No, it's an older guy.
Yeah, I don't
Because
even remember them calling him Frenchie.
I
But
wonder
maybe they
if that's like added.
I think it is. I think it's an afterthought.
Yeah, to this movie. But when they're performing an exorcism on him, it's supposed to be like later, like only like what, a couple of years before The Conjuring, so
Yeah,
like 8 years after the Nun. So it makes sense that
something
it's
like
an older guy, you know.
Sure.
And all of this is an afterthought. They didn't.
Yeah.
This is not Marvel. They didn't plan on any of this to start with, So
No.
I don't blame them for that.
It feels kind of it's kind of a stupid afterthought because it doesn't.
No,
I
it
don't
makes
think it
sense.
works.
It's how Valak finds out about Ed and Lorraine Warren.
But how did Valak attach itself to Frenchie?
There's a quick shot of it when a snake comes out of Valak's mouth and goes into Frenchie's mouth.
Maybe it was too fucking dark for me to notice that.
Well, no, they show it again right before they leave when he touches the back of his neck and you see the upside down cross.
Oh, right. I see. I didn't really connect that, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I
Amidst all the other chaotic things that happened in that movie, it kind of disappeared.
sure, yeah, and I gotta say, I didn't pay a lot of attention to the movie. I got bored, like 20 minutes in.
Yeah, I had to pause because I was too bored.
Yeah, I watched this. It took me the entire day to watch it. I watched the Curse of La Llorona this morning, and then I'm like, I'm on a roll. I'm gonna watch The Nun now, and it took the entire day.
Yeah, I started the
Mainly
Nun
because I
yesterday.
know I had to work, but I can usually watch a movie while I'm working. Here, I was just pausing all the time. Like, nah, I'm gonna work more instead.
Yeah, I literally paused it to open YouTube instead.
Yeah, I've been listening to podcasts.
I'm gonna watch something else.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I did get through it, and it's I don't know. It's so strange almost. It's not coherent.
No,
It's a very cool concept.
it's a cool concept because it takes place in an old creepy castle in Romania. Technically, it's actually shot. Some of the scenes are shot in Transylvania,
Yeah.
which is very cool. I like the aesthetic.
Yes.
I like the dark castle and the catacombs and all the crosses, and I like the little dead ringer bell things on the graves.
It has very cool vibes and settings and all that stuff, but
yeah, and the nun costumes they are very creepy, especially in this dark setting.
Yeah, and the whole having nuns compete with
Yeah.
a demon that is the almost most unholiest of demons.
It's even got some like non-exploitation references when they're praying towards the end, and all the nuns come in and start praying, and she's sitting there in her all white dress, and then the demon rips up the back of the dress and starts like slashing in a pentagram, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like a 70s exploitation movie.
Yeah.
But then they don't do anything. They don't do anything with it. I don't even
No.
like.
I don't like why did they do that?
I don't know. And then it turns out, there were no nuns there. She was alone.
Yeah, all the nuns were her visions, I suppose.
Yeah. And towards the end, they realize that, oh my god, all the nuns are dead. But how long have they been dead? Because the corpse in that room has been dead for a while. But she's been talking to Sister Una, whatever her name was.
Yeah, something.
And some of the other
Juana.
Some of the other
yeah, but
nuns.
she's
but, like,
clearly
were they ghosts, or did she was there premonitions? Were they all dead from the beginning, or?
See, if I understood it correctly, Sister Victoria, the one who hung herself, was the last one.
Yes. Oh, sure.
And her body looked kind of decomposed. So she must have been there at least a week in the open air when Frenchie found her. If she was the last one, and she and the one who got dragged into the abyss were doing this as a final stand towards towards Valak.
Yeah, I'm guessing they were going to go seal the portal.
Yeah.
That's why when she.
And the other ones must have died a couple days before that, at least. The last one of those.
But if the place was empty of nuns, if the place was empty of nuns for a week or whatever, why didn't Valak leave?
Because Valak could.
Oh right, it needs a body. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It needs a human body.
Someone to come there to give it a body, basically. I guess.
Which doesn't really
make sense.
Makes sense because it's not possessing a body in Conjuring 2. Not until the end, at least. It's masquerading as the ghost of Bill Wilkins, but
To
how?
tear down the what's her name? Janet,
Janet, yeah,
to possess her eventually.
yeah.
But it never actually gets to do that.
That is, you see, it was fine when it was just a demon on the loose, doing what
Mm-hmm.
it does, faking being a ghost so he can get a body. But now there is a disconnect between the Nun and Conjuring 2, because how did it get to London? Now that's why they're gonna have to make another one to explain that. It's like we didn't need an explanation. It was fine in
Yeah,
Conjuring 2.
that's why you didn't need this movie at all.
Yeah,
Because this movie had an origin that messed up the origin.
yeah,
Like we didn't need to know how Lorraine saw this nun, or how this demon made its way to London. Like that could have been whatever.
yeah. And I mean, that is the case with most of the Conjuring spin-offs. I mean, they don't really need. You don't need an Annabelle
No.
trilogy. You don't need a Curse of La Llorona movie. But at least, I was going to say at least some of them, but at least one of them uh, justified its existence by being a good movie, and that is, for me at least, Annabelle Comes Home.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, I think the Curse of La Llorona actually kind of works.
Okay. Yeah, I can. Okay, sure.
We'll get into the details of why soon.
Yes.
But comparing that to every other spin-off, I think that one actually works.
Oh, okay.
The Nun is completely unnecessary. It's got a cool idea, a cool setting, cool vibes, but
They
the
don't do anything.
scares
Yeah.
are awfully bad.
They're cheap as
um,
hell.
they're very cheap. Um,
And like
the
we never.
acting kind of sucks, to be honest.
There's really only like 3 actors that get in each other room to act, and I think they're fine, except for the guy who plays Frenchie. He's kind of whatever. I think
Oh, their
Taysa
work is
Farmiga.
too much as well, and Thaisa Farmiga doesn't have the like she is a good actress, but in this one she's constantly just scared.
Yeah, I guess.
So she only emits the same like vibe and emotion all the time. She
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
have
that's
enough
that's the
room
problem with the
to.
writing. There's not
Yeah,
much there for her to work with. I like
no,
I like her in the beginning of the movie.
yeah, that
I
seems like the only one that's actually good with her.
I
Because after that, she's only mumbling in Latin and crying almost. Well, not
I
crying,
guess,
but
yeah.
like that scared
I
patient
guess
does.
I'm more of a fan of her in general, from like American Horror Story and
No, I love her in
other
that.
movies. And then I
Which you
mean,
can't think of.
huh?
Can you think of any other movies?
I mean, I didn't. Okay, I didn't watch
I
the
can
whole
only
thing, but
think of
she's in.
Final Girls.
All right, she's in Final Girls. That's a great movie, by the way.
Yes.
She's in Bling Ring, which I didn't finish, but I've seen
Yeah,
parts of it. So
haven't seen that yet.
anyway, um, but let's talk more about the weird, like, not the story, but the weird other stuff going on in the Nun. Like, why are there zombies? Are they zombies, or are they just like figments of their imaginations? Because some of the nuns come back to life. There is one zombie that has to be like an imagination, the little kid from years ago.
Hey, no, that's just Valak presenting something to scare Father Burke.
But zombies have never been a thing before. The only time we've
No,
seen like dead people have been people who were, died from the curse of whatever. The people you see in The Conjuring are the ones who died because they were cursed by Bathsheba when they entered her land, or the other like people we see in Conjuring 2 are, yeah, they're figments of imagination, but they don't look like zombies. They're the Crooked Man, or they're Bill Wilkins, which is supposed to be a ghost.
yeah,
Here they are zombies, like
yeah.
literal zombies.
I'm thinking they just wanted them to look extra scary. I don't think they had like a thought process behind it.
But zombies aren't scary.
To religious people, maybe they are.
Yeah, but this movie's made for religious people. No religious people
No.
went and saw this.
No.
No,
Probably
no,
not.
no, no, no. I mean, we talked about that when we did the Dead trilogy, Living Dead trilogy by George A. Romero. Like, zombies aren't scary. It's what a zombie invasion does to people that's scary.
Yeah. The humans' reaction to it.
Yes.
But maybe they just wanted
Check
to
out those
add the
episodes on every major podcast platform, by the
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, I'm thinking they just wanted to make things creepy.
okay.
To
Well,
add to the old castle vibe, sort of.
yeah. Well, Frenchie
But I don't think
pulling out
they had.
a Frenchie pulling out a cross to like ward off zombies and CGI snakes. Like, it's not scary. It's campy,
Uh, yeah.
and it's so weird because the rest of the mood of the movie, I really like it. Like I said before, it's the aesthetic and the feel of the movie, the feel of the monastery, the feel of the vampire mist down in the catacombs and all the crosses hanging from
Yeah.
the ceiling. It's really cool.
They could have done something really good with it.
And Valak as a concept is really cool. I mean, a demon nun. Come
Yeah.
on, that's awesome. Or the music. I think it's Joseph Bishara who makes the music, and he's made the music for a bunch of these movies. I think, I'm not sure. I know
I
he
don't
made. I
remember
know he
that, but
made the music for the Insidious movies. No, it's Abel Korzenyovsky.
okay.
I love he kind of creates a theme for Valak, that the very
Yeah,
very
that
deep is a
almost Gregorian
baritone,
chanting
yeah,
thing. Yeah,
chanting. It's super cool.
definitely.
And really sets a mood. Like, this is evil. Whenever you
Yeah,
see Valak, you know she or it is evil.
yeah.
But it doesn't translate to the rest of the movie.
No, because it
Unfortunately.
kind of feels like everything else is silent, and then you only hear that whenever Valak's around.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you hear it and you don't see Valak, and you're like, but the people in the movie are looking at the darkness as if they're seeing Valak, and we hear Valak basically. It's
Yeah.
just like, show us something. Show the white trim of the hood or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
Uh, just show us a shape at least. But no, it's just pitch black
Well, you do see her sometimes.
sometimes,
I
but
think it's
sometimes
I think it's just that,
too dark.
I don't know, maybe you need better glasses or something.
No, that's the lighting, dude. It's not my glasses.
Yeah, but I saw her. I didn't like.
Not all the time.
Maybe you're not supposed to see her.
No, but I think that's the. You should always like sort of see something that so your eyes are tricking themselves to like, oh, there's something there, but I can't really figure out what.
I don't know.
That helps. That puts the vibe. In this case, I was like, eh, it's just black. He's probably not even there. Because I like the vibe of her being a shadow, and you can see her shadow walking across the wall. In the first night when they're praying,
Mm,
when Sister Irene comes in and she just
the chapel.
feels their presence, and she follows the shadow around until she turns around and she's looking in a mirror or something.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool until Valak like
Goes, wah!
yeah
And then it becomes too much. Yeah.
yeah
And I really think, since this is a proper demon, from what I understand, one of the main demons in the Conjuring universe,
apparently.
it really should have worked more on like the fear of these characters.
Yes.
That's how they break down people to be able to
Take
enter their
control.
bodies.
Yeah.
It's 3 rules. What is it? Oppression.
Oh.
Damn it! I don't remember them. I don't
Yeah,
remember oppression
the
and possession.
Yeah, the person in question needs to be weak in mind,
Yeah.
like fear. Basically, you have to be so afraid that you can't control yourself anymore, and that's when the demon can attach itself to you.
And that's the whole theme in almost all the other movies.
Yeah,
The demons
it breaks
always
you down.
try to break down
Yeah,
the
it breaks you
characters.
down by scaring you physically, mentally, and eventually just attaches itself to you.
And here, I mean, there are still scares. Obviously, like it's
Sure.
scaring them to break them down. But it almost feels like, at least Sister Irene's what's it called, reserve or her perseverance becomes stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
Um. So
Like even when she's freaked out. You can tell that she's freaked out when she goes into pray with all the nuns. And they're
yeah,
like, whatever you see, whatever you hear, don't turn around. But in previous scenes, you've seen her turn around when things happen, even though they're like scary, and you know that, oh, maybe just don't look at it and go away, kind of thing.
yeah, it's
She does turn
inconsistent.
around and she looks at it, and then this one, she actually like stays true, even though it's touching her. Like, why is this
It
moment do you decide to become very strong in your faith and just stay praying, even though it's literally scratching your back?
I don't know. It's like I said, it's inconsistent.
Yeah.
Um,
And she's always sort of scared at the beginning, but she always like braves through it somehow. She's
yeah,
never actually scared, it seems like.
no,
Even though she should probably be, because she's a kid almost.
yeah,
I mean, she can't be more than a teenager at least.
yeah.
I don't
Well,
know, I
I
find
don't
it
know.
strange. Also, I have to ask, because one thing I don't understand at all, the old lady thing that sits in that throne room in the like entrance of the
The
castle.
foyer, yeah,
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, because it has a bunch of like tombs
tombs, yeah.
things.
I don't know.
Is that the old abbess just sitting there and he's talking to Valak?
I
That like possessing the
I
corpse?
I don't know. Like, why would because the corpse kind of not really
It's
helps him, but it's not being like evil.
no, it
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 just
gives him
tells him stuff.
hints and
Yeah.
just like, you maybe should leave. There's nothing here for you. Just go, instead of like scaring him to go. Or
Yeah, I
uh,
that's something they just put her there because it's creepy. Like, we
yeah.
can't see your face. Is it Valak? Is it a nun? We don't
And
know.
then
And then
all
it's
of a
end.
sudden
Oh, it's just a
a skeleton.
corpse that came to life for 1 second to grab him, and then it was dead, and it was nothing. Oh, okay. So was it a
Yeah,
zombie all the time, or
yeah,
no? It doesn't matter. It was scary. It was spooky. That's the
yeah.
problem. They just put stuff in there because it's scary.
It's like they
Like
didn't have
like
enough story to tell, so they just put in extra scares,
yeah.
which
Like
kind
like
of makes sense.
like the same thing with when they enter the cold storage where they put all the
Hmm.
food, and he says, "Oh my God, that's not how I." And Frenchie put the corpse there. Oh,
Yeah,
that's not how I. Because she's sitting up, and he put her facing like on her back.
yeah, she
It's
was
like, oh,
lying
it
down.
moved. How could it move? Like they're sowing seeds of like the dead coming back to life,
Yeah,
but they aren't, or are they, or what? And why aren't
yeah.
every
That
dead person
part,
coming back to life? I don't know.
that part isn't really explained or explored enough. They just choose random dead people to come back to life.
Yeah,
Because, like, again, the sister Anna or whatever her name was, she's lying there dead, and she's lying there dead until the priest and Frenchie comes in,
mm.
and Sister Irene realizes that, oh shit, she's been dead for a very long time, or more than what I thought.
uh,
That's when the corpse decides to reanimate. It's like,
and then another thing: if it is Valak either bringing the dead back to life or just playing a devilish prank on the priest and the nun, why then does it feel like when the priest falls into the grave, the coffin, that was meant to happen because he finds the books about Valak in there. Why would Valak point out like hints on
something that will
how to
help him.
find it?
Yeah.
Because in those books are the name Valak. They say it, and if you know the name of that demon, you can like not control it, but you can fight back.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing in Conjuring too.
Yeah. Ooh, also, fun detail. Did you notice that the truck that they put their bags on, the registration, what's it called? License plate?
License plate, yeah.
Says Valak.
No, I didn't. What?
But it
Okay.
has like 30VA0LAK or something.
Oh, okay. No, I
So
didn't notice
it
that.
has Valak in it, but it's like in Conjuring, was it 2, when you see it all over the kitchen.
Oh, right, yeah, but I never noticed that. But you did, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
But this time it's only once, as far as I could understand. Maybe there were more, but I didn't see them.
Yeah. I don't know.
that was a fun detail that they like
Sure.
did a callback to that, but also like Irene she's told its name somehow by one of the dead nuns, I think.
Yeah.
And uh Father Burke reads it in that book.
Imagine we haven't done this in a while because we haven't really talked about a movie like that. Like let's do a quick rewrite.
Oh.
Because a priest who is like known for hunting for miracles, which he says he is. He's like a
Yeah.
miracle finder or whatever. He's more of a detective. He's like hired by the Vatican to find miracles, or
Yeah,
sometimes
probably
omens or curses.
fight demons sometimes.
Yeah,
Probably.
imagine him and I guess this young
No,
nun.
none.
Sorry, nun.
She kind of looks like a nurse though.
With a white
Yeah.
clothing all the time. Yeah. They're going to this cloister or whatever it's called, to investigate the suicide of a
Suicide of
nun. And
nun.
like, why would a nun commit suicide?
Yeah, it's the greatest sin or whatever.
Yeah, which they mention in the movie.
Yeah.
And imagine they get there. Ooh, this could be it. Now once again, I'm just pulling things out of my ass here. Yeah.
Yeah.
The young nun is actually going to join that cloister, that convent. They very rarely bring in new people because obviously, they don't want. They need the seasoned nuns that are already over there.
Yeah, but since people are starting to die, they need to, what's it called? Add people to their ranks.
They need
so
fresh
they don't
blood,
die out.
so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when they get there, all the nuns are there except for one who died.
Yeah. And that one that went missing in the catacombs.
Yeah. And instead of spending like 10 minutes of the runtime on reading some books about a demon, and then in the end figuring out that we need to seal the portal to hell with this artifact. Imagine if the priest actually spent, this is an hour and a half, he spent an hour figuring out what is actually happening there, because none of the nuns will speak about it, because they are guarding this world from the demon, from hell, from Valak.
They're warrior nuns almost.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But I mean, they're yeah.
Yeah, but
they're guardians.
Not with swords, but like devotion.
But they can't talk about it because
because if you mention it, if you speak about it, you give it power.
You give it power, yeah. So maybe it can't be then Valak, but that doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't have to be fucking Valak. I know it ruins it for the Conjuring, but if you want to make a good movie instead.
They're kind of doing that though, because they say that constant prayer is the only thing that keeps it at bay, and they don't speak its name unless, well, except for that one time when Sister Juana tells Sister Irene that it's called, the demon is called Valak, and that weird creepy guy who owned the castle, he like summoned it.
Yeah.
And he's writing the books that Father Burke is reading eventually.
Who's Father Burke?
Father Burke.
Who?
The priest.
What priest? Oh!
No, but like, in the nun.
Sorry. Burke. I know, I was thinking of Birkin, but that has nothing to do with this. Anyway, whatever. Anthony Burke. Sure, yeah. But imagine then that he's trying to figure out what's going on here, and but they're very secretive. They won't let him into certain rooms, and barely anyone speaks to him. The only one he can really connect with is the new nun, but she doesn't know anything. She's new.
Yeah.
Because they met each other on the train, or they both went from the Vatican together, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
And we slowly realize, partly through him snooping through books and maybe having some things going bump in the night, but not like 15 minutes when they run through a graveyard and fall into coffins. Skip all that. Skip the zombies. Skip the snakes.
Yeah.
Just hint about that there's something evil asunder here. And then you realize, because you also slowly figure out or get to know what's going on through the initiation process of this new nun. Because to become a nun here is very different. And here you can even do more nunsploitation references. It's a form of exploitation movie.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, yeah, they have to show Sister Irene all the rituals that they do that are very specific for this cloister to keep the demon
Yeah,
at bay. Like I've
and
never read of them in any books or ever heard of them from any other cloister, and they're like, no, it's what we do.
yeah, and I guess and it has to do with like it's almost like there's like they're what's it called? I wanted to say something before. Uh, Not torture. Torture is a part of it, but there's
Okay.
what's it called? Humiliation. Thank you.
Oh yeah,
Humiliation. Like like there's like cleansing rituals. It wouldn't really work in modern movies, but you know they take off all her clothes and hose her down, and she has to sleep in a cold fucking dungeon or whatever. It's almost
Well,
like, and you
they do
want,
that.
huh?
Why would they do that? To what? Toughen her?
Yes, it's
Okay.
kind of like they do with Marines. It's like Hell Week. They're breaking
Yeah,
her down to build her up stronger and better. Like to see if her faith is strong enough, if her resolve is strong enough,
yeah. So
to
maybe
fight back
not
Valak.
specifically hose her down with ice cold
No,
water,
I
but
don't
like
know, but
stuff
something like
stuff to
that.
test her faith,
And it's
basically.
almost gonna feel like the nuns are evil for doing this to
Yeah.
her. They're branding her with crosses or whatever,
And
something.
then maybe she'll have one that's a bit nicer to her, like Sister Oana is.
Maybe I don't know.
Just, just a little bit to have like, it's worth it, I promise. You're doing this for good cause kind of thing.
Yeah, and then
You need that.
it's like have you seen Martyrs, the French movie?
Yeah.
Okay, something like that. Like
Yeah.
they're creating this warrior for good, this warrior of God. That they don't do that, but they're making a conduit to God in that
Yeah.
movie. Whatever. Spoilers for Martyrs. I think we
I
spoiled
think
that before
yeah,
though.
we've mentioned that before.
Um, and it's making her question her faith, which is not a thing. I know they don't want to do that in Conjuring. In the Conjuring movies, like Christianity or faith in God is like good. So I guess that wouldn't work.
They kind of used that in the Annabelle movie, Annabelle Creation, because the parents question their faith, why their daughter dies.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
So they kind of touch on it in that one. So they could do it in this, just to like, but in the end, it's gonna show that your faith is the strongest.
yeah. I
So
suppose.
I
Yeah.
mean, it works.
And the priest can see these initiation rituals. But what are you doing? What are you doing? He tries to stop it. And then no, we need them to be strong. And
Yeah, because
eventually
this isn't
we
probably
find out
even
that they're
sanctioned.
yeah, they're not just nuns who like write translate Bibles or whatever, or I don't know what they do in in convents. But
Yeah,
here,
they usually translate holy texts, but I mean, by then most of it's probably translated.
yeah.
I don't know.
But then it turns out that they need these nuns to be strong. Like they need to have unwavering faith, and they need to be able to stare evil in the eye
Yeah.
without flinching, because we are guarding a portal to fucking hell in the catacombs of this church. Something like that. Here,
Yeah.
in this one, it's just a bunch of nuns praying, which I like that they're constantly praying. Everyone's scared.
Yeah.
I like that part, but it's
Those
so
those
little of
scenes are
it.
very cool, and the aspect of it works very well. But like you say, the rest of it is just random people running around this castle being scared of nothing.
Yeah,
Basically, they don't know what they're scared of.
I mean, I know you thought some of the like jump scare sequences or the quiet sequences before the jump scare in Annabelle Comes Home were long.
Yeah, these
These
ones
felt
are.
10 times as long
Yeah,
sometimes, and they're
even sometimes they don't even
constantly.
like. Yeah, they're constant, and sometimes they don't even pay out in anything.
Yeah,
You basically have when Father Burke is down in the catacombs and they've all been separated. He runs into a gaggle of nuns
yeah,
who have no faces, and they're all praying in some weird language that isn't Latin. And then all of a sudden, they all turn to him,
and he
and
makes
you
a
get that.
burning cross
Yeah, yeah.
on the
But in
floor.
between that, you get that whole like, oh, it's almost tense, it's almost tense. But before they even do anything scary, he puts the cross on the ground and then he runs away. And they're like, oh, fire.
Yeah, like
The build-up is for nothing because you never come, you never arrive at anything.
yeah,
He just averted it, and went on his own way. Like, why? Why make a build up if it's not gonna end in something? At least a cheap jump scare.
I don't know. That's the problem with the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like they needed, because they also said this was going to be the darkest that was the tagline, at least in the trailers, not maybe not the actual movie. But the tagline was the darkest chapter in the Conjuring saga or Conjuring universe. But other than it actually being dark, so dark that you can't see stuff sometimes, it's not actually that dark.
Yeah, witness the darkest chapter in the Conjuring universe.
Yeah.
Pray for forgiveness, she doesn't forgive. What is she supposed to forgive?
Yeah. I don't know. She won't forgive because she's a demon. She don't care.
Yeah.
She just want to possess people.
Yeah. But it, again, that doesn't really make sense to me. Because they give the whole demon coming from hell backstory with the guy who built the castle summoning monsters and demons from hell.
Yeah.
But before he even summons Valak properly,
the
crusade comes in and and they just seal it up with the blood of Christ.
Yeah, but he does open up the portal, and it doesn't, it needs constant prayer to keep it sealed, I suppose.
You see the creature sort of come up, but then they seal it, and then it's sealed.
Yeah.
The monster is back down in hell, I guess.
Yeah.
And then when the World War happens, the bombs kind of crack the ground, which opens the portal.
Yeah.
So it's just a physical, actual shell?
Maybe they meant, like, I don't know, maybe the nuns were scared and wasn't thinking about praying when they were being bombed. I don't know. Yeah,
but it's after that they need to pray constantly to keep the demon at bay.
Yeah, but that's it's wishy-washy. Like the rest of the movie, it's wishy-washy. It's a scary nun.
And I mean, they've been praying constantly until the last nun dies. So Valak has only been like free, I guess, for maybe a week.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. So
and I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But people have been scared of that monastery or cloister or whatever for long because the people in the village hate it as well.
Yeah, well, I still think, you could say that it still like feels like a dark and evil place, even though evil is being held at bay because it's right under there, So that's fair,
And then they throw in the detail of that kid in town committing suicide. Also, what does that have to do with anything that goes on in the cloister?
I guess that's because evil is out, at least out of the portal, and now it's in the church and it's infecting the surrounding
town?
Yeah.
Yeah, but why would that make a 12-year-old girl hang herself?
Because it's scary. It's creepy. It doesn't have to make sense. It's scary. I know.
Yeah. So this movie is, to be fair, according to me at least, it's the weakest one in the entire Conjuring universe.
I wouldn't go that far, because it still wins me over with the aesthetic. I still think the first Annabelle is worse, because it's so boring.
Yeah, okay, maybe, yeah. Okay, second worst. Out of how many movies have we talked about? It's like 7 movies or something?
3, 6, 7 with this, yeah, and 8. The 8th is Curse of La Llorona.
Oh, 2 movies in the first episode, 3 movies in the second. That's 5.
Oh, 2, right, sorry.
7 in total, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the second worst.
Also, it's like, you've built up this Valak character throughout a bunch of the movies, because she's mentioned in The Conjuring 1 and 2. She's mentioned
it's mentioned in Conjuring 2, we don't know.
Well, you kind of get the idea of the... Because it's...
Yeah, but you have to watch Conjuring 2 to know that it's the Valak they're talking about in Conjuring 1.
Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. So
it's mentioned in Conjuring 1, and it's mentioned in Annabelle
No,
Creation.
in Conjuring 2 and Annabelle Creation.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, like, you've built this up like some sort of ancient, profound evil.
Yeah.
And then this is all it does.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually...
do much.
Really present a threat to anyone, except for 3 people.
Yeah, and that's why it works better as just a demon in Conjuring 2. It's not this primordial evil. It's just another demon. A scary one. that has
too
been
much
haunting the
power.
Warrens for a while, but it's not enough
Yeah,
to build a franchise around.
no. And I think they've kind of built it up too much by saying that it's the most foul one and the I don't remember what they
It's
say.
the
It's something
conjure of
specific.
snakes or whatever.
Yeah, they like it has like three different things that it
Yeah,
makes the worst one and whatever. It just they build it up to be something so horrific and scary and dangerous, but all it does is almost kill three people. Three people, and it makes a bunch of nuns die. But
yeah,
we don't get to see the nuns die,
yeah. We don't
except
get to see
one.
that. Yeah.
And she commits suicide.
So yeah,
And once Valak actually is physically hurting Frenchie and Irene and Father Burke, she's not that scary. She's just ugly.
yeah,
Like any horror character, she's just strangling them. Okay, sure.
yeah.
You don't need to be a demon to strangle people.
Just like every other like scary movie, like
Yeah.
the second you see it too much, it's not scary anymore.
No.
When it's a thought in Lorraine's head, when it's a painting that sometimes looks like it's moving, when it's just a shadow on a wall, when it's possessing Lorraine to write its name in the
In the
Bible,
Bible.
that's scary because it's something it's intangible. It's something we can't.
It would even be scary if it was a shadow with yellow eyes.
Yeah,
But as soon as you see her white face, it's like, okay,
yeah,
that's just a human shape.
yeah.
It's the same. We mentioned this in the Annabelle episode as well. It's the same with that demon. When once you see the demon physically, it's like, okay,
Yeah, then it's not as scary.
no,
It's scary, like from a distance, like when it's walking towards the last nun in the beginning, and the lights
yeah,
flicker out. That's
yeah.
that's creepy because it's evil coming to get you.
Just the presence of this evil can turn out the lights
Yeah,
in the
and
world.
it can make a
Basically,
nun kill herself. Like
yeah,
whoa, that must be evil. But then it's just wow, I'm gonna strangle you. Wow, it's in
yeah.
the end. It's like ugh, okay. That's
No
the problem.
offense to the actors,
No, I
but
mean
in that makeup,
she looks
it's ugly
scary.
as fuck.
Yeah, but she looks scary. Like just looking
Sure,
at a
sure.
picture, it looks scary. Like we said, it's a cool thing. A demon nun, that's scary as hell.
Yeah,
But only at a distance, you know.
yeah.
That's why the nun isn't scary in the end of Conjuring 2 when she's like fighting her in the room.
No, it's just action.
Yeah, but that's only like a few seconds of that movie, so
Also,
that's
I have
okay.
to say, they make a fatal fucking mistake in
Oh,
the end of the movie. They use up the entire vial of the
yeah, I
blood of
know.
Christ, which you cannot get your hands on anymore, obviously. And like, why would they even leave that there?
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you needed to seal the portal, but they sealed the portal. If I was the I don't even know what the leader of the Crusades was called, like the main dude, I would never leave it there. I would have it in
The
the
Pope.
Vatican with all the other relics,
Yeah, the Pope.
where the Pope can keep it safe.
Yeah.
Not leave it like meters away from the portal to hell.
Oh, and also another thing, they closed the portal, but remember
Yeah.
they did close the portal back in the what is it, 10th century or whatever, when the
Yeah, whatever.
Crusaders were. But after that, they still had nuns who had to continuously pray to keep the portals closed.
Yeah, and bombs could open it.
Yeah. After they closed the portal in this, which is admittedly kind of cool, because Teysa Farmiga spits the blood of Christ in the face of a demon. That's pretty hardcore.
But she wasted it.
Yes, yeah. But I mean, it looks cool. It's a cool.
It looks cool. It looks very cool.
Yeah.
But they fucked themselves over because obviously Valak didn't get trapped.
Yeah, obviously. But what I also mean is, they seal the portal, but then they leave, and there are no nuns left. What about that constant prayer thing that they had to do for centuries to keep it closed?
That's why I'm thinking the constant prayer was only after the bombs had opened the crack. That's when they need
But
to
they
pray.
say they've had constant prayer for over 3 centuries.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah, they mentioned that.
So that makes no sense.
Yeah. But I guess, since Valak is out, she's in London, and she's in she's in Frenchy. I guess that's how it gets out.
Maybe
Sorry.
he gets to London and that's how. No, but they're not in London when they. Well,
No,
they don't say they're in London, at least.
no, but
Maybe they are.
they mentioned that he's a French Canadian farmer. And he mentions he's gonna leave, maybe go back to his father's tomato farm. So he would be back in French Canada where they exercised him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But how does it get to London? I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see none too, probably,
Yeah. Ugh,
if that ever actually gets done.
I hope they don't.
Because I feel like they've been talking about that for a while, but I haven't seen or heard anything about it.
Well, they probably got delayed because of the pandemic. Since this came out in 2018, they probably started working on it in 2019. And it's like, so we'll start pre-production properly in 2020, but then oops.
But they made the Conjuring 3 movie.
Yeah, well, that was supposed to come out like last year.
Oh, okay.
So it was obviously delayed.
Yeah, and then maybe they wanted to release the Conjuring 3 and then the Nun 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, if they're gonna make it, at least a couple of years. I say 2022 at the earliest.
I don't care.
No, I don't care.
I mean, I'm probably gonna see it just because.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna pay for it. No, I might, because we've been rambling before in multiple previous episodes that we want to support movie making. So yeah, I might pay for it, even though it's a crappy movie and I'm not excited about it.
Yeah.
But just to get theaters and stuff running again, yeah, I'll pay for anything.
Yeah.
I'd like to move on. I'd like to move on to The Curse of La Llorona.
Yes, let's do that.
Because The Nun is we're just gonna hate on it. It has a couple things that works for it, but it's
overall
really
terrible movie. It's like a 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10.
Yeah, and it only survives on the vibes, basically.
Yeah.
The Curse of La Llorona.
Yes.
Was surprisingly good.
Okay. Had you seen it before?
No.
Okay.
This is today. I watched it today. It was the first time I watched it. I don't even remember. It was released in 2019.
Yes.
I don't remember even like thinking about going to see it. It was like, why? Why are they making another one? I think. So I was like, never mind. I'm not gonna watch it.
It felt the most removed from the other Conjuring movies.
Which it is.
It
only has one character.
Yeah.
That connects
the priest from Annabelle.
Yeah.
The priest from the spin-off.
Yeah. And the fact that it takes place in Los Angeles, I think.
Well, no other movie does. Well, yeah, sure. Yeah, Annabelle 1 does. Yeah.
That's because I think that's the same church as well. That's why he's there.
That's why he's there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The story of the weeping woman, that's the same shit as we've heard like 1,000 times in any other horror movies. That's not specific. That's not special.
What is interesting, I gotta say, that is actually based on a real myth.
Yeah, I know that.
Real myth.
And it's been told many different ways in many horror movies.
Oh yeah, I looked that up. There's like, just casually scrolling through IMDb, there was like 10 La Llorona movies. One that came out last year, one came out the same year.
Though I've never heard it as a specifically Hispanic story. I've heard it just as the Weeping Woman, I think.
Okay. I'm not sure the origin of it, no.
No, I'm not sure of the origin. I mean, there's probably 10,000 different versions that everyone claims to be the origin. And I didn't really understand the origin that they explained in the movie. But I did like the concept, and for the most part, how she was portrayed and actually like in the movie. Except for, again, those times when she was up in their face very closely, because that just looked like a weird mask.
Yeah. It is a Latin American, like South American folklore thing.
Yeah.
Like Mexico, Venezuela.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But like, you've heard of straight up North Americans and European versions of that as well. So
yes.
But as a standalone, want to say like Monster of the Week kind of movie within the Conjuring universe, it works. You don't even have to have it as part of the Conjuring universe, to be honest.
No, that's true. It is detached.
Could just be, yeah. I mean, it only banked on that name, I guess. Having the Conjuring on the
barely.
poster.
They didn't mention it that much. They definitely mentioned it in the Nun, like the Darkest Chapter. I don't remember the Conjuring name being
No, but it's
mentioned.
on the poster.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
And the priest like talks about this married couple that we've worked with before.
Oh, right,
They,
right, right, right,
they
right. Yes.
mention them, but they don't say their name. But
Yeah.
like I like the, I like the, like I actually enjoyed it, to be honest. Except
Okay.
for some of the scares that are kind of too in your face. But that's always going to be a problem with horror movies.
Yeah. I was similar because I've seen this twice. I saw it back when it was new, and then I saw it today. First time I saw it, I was like, yeah, this is one of the better ones. Today, it's fucking boring.
I mean, it is
But
still
it's not
strange.
terrible. It's just not really that good, in my opinion.
No, it's still just the same random shit as every other horror movie in the world.
Yeah.
But I did prefer the the way this director worked compared to some of the other Conjuring movies.
Okay.
Like the first Annabelle movies. Like no, the director worked better in this one. And I like,
Better than David Sandberg in Annabelle Creation.
yeah,
Okay.
at least I thought so.
Maybe I don't know. I'll say
And I like
I'll
that he added like a physical concept that isn't just the monster being the demon being the scary thing, but actually a human being part of the scary thing, the other mother.
Oh, okay. Well,
I like that they added her in, except
she
that she
she
kind of quickly.
disappears
Yeah,
for the middle hour of the movie.
but that's because she's in jail.
Yeah, I guess. The only thing I really like about it, and that's the only thing I remember liking the first time as well, or the one thing I did like a lot, was that it shows a different side of like um, faith, not Christianity, but like well, yeah,
Spiritual.
it's a form of Christian religion fighting back against evil. Instead of regular like Catholic priests or demonologists, it's this I think he's Mexican. This Mexican faith healer, which is almost like a he almost works like a demon hunter. He has like vials and different like concoctions, which he literally fights La Llorona.
His practice is almost a bit Wiccan.
Yeah, yeah,
He's a spiritual guide more than a priest.
yeah,
And yeah, I like that. I like that too because it shows a different side of religion and spirituality
yeah, and it
instead of just being priests with their crosses going in the name of. I mean, he does say in the name of Christ a lot.
yeah, but he's not like he's not a typical like priest.
No, he's not just saying have faith and do Hail Marys.
Yeah,
Like you can actually throw stuff at her, and you can use certain things that work against spirits and demons and stuff. And they use things, elements that are mentioned in other religions, like the whole when he's like pouring the seeds of the fire tree
yeah,
by the door. That's you do the same with salt against ghosts and demons in general.
yeah.
So they like add in elements of other stuff and other beliefs, which I
Yeah,
like.
and that's expanding the Conjuring world. It's not just
Yeah,
it's not just regular Christian like Western Christian faith. No, it's
it,
other stuff as well.
it's belief
Yeah,
basically.
so I
Yeah.
like that part, but I thought most of the scares are once again cheap jump scares.
Oh yeah.
They do a couple of them kind of cool, like the first real scare when the kids are sleeping in the not the orphanage, but the place where they
Detention thing place.
yeah
Yeah.
they get taken from their mother because she's neglecting them. They think, but she's actually protecting
Yeah.
them from La Llorona. And the one kid walks out into the hallway. And his brother follows him, and he only sees him when he takes another turn. It was kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But then it's just Wah! And the La Llorona grabs them, and they say, "Oh," and
Yeah.
then
Again, the physical
towards
stuff kind of ruins
yeah.
it.
But here, every jump scare ends with her being there physical and like going "Wah!" with the mouth, which is
At least the build up is actually giving you something. Then there's some sort of payoff, even though it's not a good payoff. It's still a payoff compared to
yeah.
the nun where you just end with nothing sometimes.
And I like the one where Sam, one of the kids, we haven't gone through the story. Whatever,
Yeah,
one of the kids of the main protagonist, played by Linda Cardellini, which is a plus.
yes,
Um, when she's out, a storm is coming, so she has
yeah. Her
an
umbrella.
umbrella, which is like a see-through plastic umbrella, and when she pops it open, La Llorona stands in the like she can see her through the umbrella,
Yeah,
but when she pulls it back, she's gone. That's like
yeah,
ooh,
yeah. I like those kinds of physical ones. Same with like the son Chris when he sneaks out of the car to see what his mother is doing with the police and stuff when they find the boys. And he goes like behind some sort of fence, in between another fence,
and
and
he sees a woman sitting
he
there,
hears the woman and he sees her. And it's like, what's going on?
sitting there
You
and
don't
crying.
really see her, even though she's moving towards him, and he's freaked out by that. You don't actually get to see her properly; you just see the
Yeah,
silhouette. Those are the kinds of scares I like
but
because
then
you either creep out.
out of the dead space in the upper right corner of the movie, she's just like wow.
Yeah,
Anyway, so,
they should have kept stuff like that.
yeah,
And
it
I
should.
like the car scene where he's like, he can't even explain it to his sister, so he's just like trying to keep the doors closed. And then it's unlocked, and oh my god, the door is opening, and oh, it's the
Yeah,
mother.
that's pretty good. Like
That's actually a good popcorn scare.
the children seem like towards the end when they have seen her a bunch of times, they seem genuinely like terrified, and I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. And I do like the whole part where with the little sister Sam, when she's in the bathroom,
Oh yeah,
when she's
that was
taking a
really
bath,
creepy.
which it's also a nice thing. Why they kind of establish that she takes
That's a
baths and
routine.
she's alone in the bathroom until she says, "I'm ready for when they're gonna rinse her hair out
Yeah,
or whatever." She's done with the bath.
yeah.
But this time, instead, you see La Llorona reach her hands out and starts shampooing her hair or massaging her hair. And
And then pulling a little, and then
yeah, and I kind of like
backing
I wish they
off.
had more of that. Like La Llorona, almost like because the whole deal is that she went nuts and drowned her own children. That's how they
She,
explain it in this movie at least.
well, she was, her husband cheated on her, so to get revenge on him, she killed the one thing that he loves the most, which are his children.
That is that mentioned in the movie?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, sure. But we don't see that in the beginning. We just see them all
We
being
just see
happy, and then
them
she
being
drowns
happy, and then
them.
all of a sudden she drowns them. Yeah, because that would explain too much, I guess, in the beginning. We did get
Uh,
to know that eventually when the priest, in this case, is called Raphael.
yeah,
Um, when he's talking to them about the legend of La Llorona.
yeah. But the whole thing. She drowns her children, but then immediately regrets it. That's why
Yes.
she's always crying because she wants her children back.
And why
That's
she's always trying to grab children
that's what
because
she's
she
trying to
wants
take
to
other children.
replace them.
Yeah, I wish they did more with that. Almost like because she's not a demon. Then she's a ghost. She's a cursed person.
Yeah, she's in limbo. She's one of
Yeah,
those ghosts that couldn't pass through because she's done something that she can't correct.
yeah. She's
She has
on
regrets,
she's
basically.
unresolved issues, which I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if that means that she like turns into a demon or whatever, but either way, there is a tragic backstory to her.
Yeah.
The original La Llorona is a ghost. So
Yeah.
and she mourns her drowned children. I wish there were more with that. Not that like, oh, we need to feel sorry about her. Not that, but her actually like taking care, like the scene with her massaging her hair, like more
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Showing that she is a mother.
Yeah, every other scene she's just grabbing them and burning their arms and trying to kill them. It's like, but I thought you wanted your children back, not kill them again.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately that's what she's gonna do because that's her curse. Her children will always die. But before that, having more scenes of the one in the bathroom,
Yeah.
like add some complexity to the character.
Oh, I just remembered. I've heard another one of these like weeping women stories is from Supernatural actually. I think it's the
Oh,
first episode or second episode. But in that one, she instead of like trying to reclaim her children by taking others' children, she takes out her revenge on cheating men.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just a spin-off on it, sort of thing.
I don't know. I haven't
Yeah.
seen it. So.
No, I just thought of it. That's she's also described as a weeping woman in white.
Okay.
So it's the same concept, but she takes revenge on her husband instead of trying to get her children back,
Yeah.
I guess.
So yeah, we should also mention then that the characters in this movie, they tried to give them a little bit of character, so to speak. There's not really an arc. There is more of a well, there is sort of an arc because the mother works for Child Protective Services.
Yes.
So she deals with, what's it called? Children with traumatized children, abusive parents, yeah.
Or neglected parents, I guess.
Yeah. Which ties into a mother drowning her children. So okay, there's a connection there. But slowly throughout the movie, the children start being like hurt by La Llorona, and then people around her starts to question, like, what are you doing to your children? And she tries to explain, it's not me. And that's kind of adding that, like, the breaking down of a person so the demon can take over, even though there's not a demon in this movie, but it's a part of the theme,
Yeah.
That's usually in the Conjuring movies. I like that part. And the fact that they do actually, well, they don't ever take the children away from her, right? But they're like,
oh, but they're about to.
Yeah, there's a police officer and there's child CPS agent comes over. Yeah.
He has to go through the system just like she usually takes other families through the system.
But I kind of wish that, once again, they did more with that. There's like
maybe
a couple of scenes of it.
Yeah, have the follow-up meeting and have the children be even more weird and they're even more worried. Because I'm guessing, like, Lost would probably say that you can't just take them straight away from one incident.
No. I don't know. I don't know the Lost, but I highly doubt that.
In the movie,
yeah,
they don't actually like go and visit the mother of the first two boys.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of her.
No.
They don't visit her until the school is reporting them being tardy or not
even being there for days.
Not even being there for 5 days.
Yeah.
That's when they're like, okay, we have to go investigate. We can't just leave it now.
Yeah. Yeah, but imagine then if you like, once again, if you want to make the story about something else than actually La Llorona, like they did in Annabelle Creation, or like sort of what I was getting at in my version of the Nun. Not Annabelle Creation. Annabelle Comes Home.
Yeah.
Like, make the story about something else. Make it about a mother's love for her children. Which works, because that's what the fucking ghost is about.
Yeah, they should have had a few more detailed scenes with that being the theme, not just her coming home late and checking on them. That's all she does, basically.
Yeah.
And then when they're in trouble, that's when she's reacting.
Yeah,
actually, like showing it.
Like, the movie starts with them ultimately taking away the children of the first mother. I gotta look her up. She's called Patricia, which is actually Patricia Alvarez, played by Patricia Velasquez.
Yeah. Nice.
And she's like, no, I was protecting them, but it really just looks like she's crazy and locking them up. But there are little hints, even when they say, like, she's trying to hurt us, and of course they're talking about their mother. No, they're talking about La Llorona.
Yeah. That's the only thing I don't get, though. Why won't the children just say, no, it's not our mom?
Because then, it'll be too obvious then.
Yeah.
And if it's not their mom, then she can't take them away from her, and they have to investigate instead.
Yeah.
But we need those two children to die.
Like, I know why they have to do it that way in a movie, but in real life, I would be like, just say it's not your mom.
Yeah, but I mean,
I guess probably won't believe him anyways, because of course your mother told you to say that.
Yeah,
if it's hurting you.
That's the things. If you can answer your question with it's because they need to do it in the movie, then that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But then there's no reason to ask that question.
No, I know.
You know why? Because it's a stupid movie.
How my brain works.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, let's say she takes those kids away, and they die just a couple of days later, like, God damn it, what's going on with these children? This is and Patricia's like, I told you, you killed my children. You took them away from me. Says, what are you talking about? I didn't kill your children. They just disappeared. No, they find them. They died. Someone drowned them. I didn't do it. No one's questioning that either. They're not saying, oh, you killed them. That's just the mother doing that.
But the mother's not saying you killed them. She's like, it's your fault they're dead. You didn't actively kill them.
Yeah.
J'accuse, basically. But
yeah. J'accuse. Yeah.
I think she actually even says that, but in Spanish.
No, she calls her an assassino, which I thought was like a hitman, not a killer. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, imagine then if she says like, she took my children, and now I'll make her come for yours. And she's like, okay, crazy lady.
I mean, she does say that.
Later.
Yeah,
but in my version, she says it when she's interrogating her.
There at the prison jail.
And she's like, okay, whatever, crazy lady. But then Mark starts showing up on her children. Her children seem distant. They don't talk to her anymore because they're scared. Because first of all, they're not sure it's a ghost or if it's their mother, because it's just a woman in a dress. Yeah. And children are stupid, so they don't know. Yeah. And so she starts digging into, well, what is this thing? And she sees the priest earlier, like in the movie. She sees him doing like a cleansing of their house. She starts asking questions, and someone mentions La Llorona. She goes, oh, what is that? She starts digging into it and finding out that like there are children dying all the time in similar fashions to this.
Yeah.
And all the while she's neglecting her own children.
And La Llorona steps in and,
tries to grab them.
And doing the motherly things as well, though, to
convince
them to come with her.
Exactly, she's slowly luring the children with them. So towards the end, when she's like realizing what she has to do, she has to protect her children. They're like, no, you're never here. You never take care of us. So she gets a visit then, and this is once again gradually built up. Don't just have a bunch of jump scares and then one scene where they're explaining everything. Build it up gradually so that like when there's 30 minutes left, CPS shows up, takes her children away because they have bruises all over them. They haven't eaten in days. She left her kid in the bathtub for 3 hours while she went to the library.
Yeah.
I was like, no, you don't understand. You can't take them away from me. I'm trying to protect them. It's like, sure you are, honey.
That's what every mother say.
That's what they all say. And that's when she realized, like, if I don't get my children back now, La Llorona's going to get them.
Yeah.
So she runs to the priest and says, I need your help. And he's like, hell yes. And he, cocks his bow gun or whatever. I don't know. No, he doesn't do that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then you have that scene again. But they have to kidnap. They kidnap the children. She goes full crazy mom, as abducting her own children from the same place where they left Patricia's children. So she has the cops after her, but she goes back to her house, and they're fighting off La Llorona while the cops are trying to get in as well. It's full pandemonium. Something like that.
Yeah, more the core of the story, not just the scares.
Exactly. Expand the core, because once again, they're trying to tell a different story. They're trying to tell a family that's kind of falling apart.
Yeah.
Which works with the themes of La Llorona. But there's not enough of it in there. No. They just want to spend 15 minutes on a jump scare that leads nowhere.
Yeah. They could have even added like a cheating husband to make it even more like La Llorona.
No, but I think it works if she's a single mother.
But, like, they could.
That works better if it's a single mother.
I guess. The one thing I really hate about La Llorona, though, is her face.
Yes. It's not scary. It's stupid.
It's stupid and it's too big.
Yeah.
It looks like they just put a mask on her.
Yeah.
It looks so weird because there is one scene where you can see her actual face.
The actual actress,
face. Yeah. and it's so much smaller. So it looks almost cartoonish when
I don't
she's
know.
the
Yeah,
ghost.
maybe they like caked on makeup on her so that her face got bigger. I don't know.
No, no, they add like a chin.
Oh, but that's just because her mouth is the demon mouth and it's big. I think that's
Yeah,
why.
but it's stupid. You could do that in CG. You don't have to actually add a prosthetic chin on her. I mean, there are makeup artists on YouTube that does better work than that. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. That was just horrible. It looked so cartoonish. I didn't like it.
yeah, she's creepier when you don't see her face.
Yeah.
The face
And
looks
she should
goofy.
have kept the veil on her like all
Yes.
the time,
Yeah,
basically.
those are the best. The best posters are the one where you see the back of her, or you see her like from the side in the profile
Oh,
shot.
that
You
one is
see,
good,
yeah,
yeah.
it's that's much more creepy.
Hmm. You could even have like the black tears kind of showing through because they're so stark in contrast to the white veil.
Yeah.
That would have worked, so you could see her weeping. But you don't have to have that chin. That really threw me off. Like, Jesus Christ, it looks like a Scooby Doo character.
Hey, funny you mentioned Scooby Doo, because they do watch Sam watches Scooby Doo, the little
Yeah.
sister, and
Is that a
and
homage to Linda Cardellini
I
playing
think so,
Velma?
because Linda Carlini played Velma. Yeah.
That's like the only role I can like say she's done.
She's the mother in the what the fuck is it called? The Mark Wahlberg Will Ferrell movie. Here Comes Daddy or something. Who's Your Daddy? What's it called? There's two movies.
One.
No, there's two movies.
Talking about looking at her IMDb now, I was like, oh yeah, she's in Legally Blonde as well. She's in Avengers.
Yeah, she's in Freaks and Geeks. Plays the big sister.
Yeah.
Daddy's Home. Daddy's Home.
Oh, that's right.
When
That's
Mark
right.
Wahlberg
Yeah.
plays the paternal father, and Will Ferrell is the adoptive
Extra
father.
dad. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the sequel when
Right.
their dads show up for Christmas.
Right. Yeah.
Surprisingly funny movies. I don't care what
True.
people say. I really like those. And the second one is even a Christmas movie, so I love that even more.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about those sometimes. I don't know.
Maybe.
Who
I'll
knows?
put them on the list because that list is growing.
That's good. Right, but back to La Llorona. I mentioned Freaks and Geeks. That's where I primarily know Linda Cardellini from.
Yeah, no, Scooby Doo for me.
Yeah, I've only seen the first one. It's pretty good. I mean, I rewatched it last year. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, they're entertaining at least.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's not.
anything else to say about La Llorona?
Not really, to be honest.
Yeah.
I kind of thought they would have more of a Hispanic family. Well, the kids seem to be half Hispanic.
Yeah, I think they don't really extrapolate much, but I think the dad is supposed to be Latin American, some sort of Latin American. Looks like
in
that.
a Latin American area, it seems like, or like close to it at least.
Yeah, but if in the pictures you see of him,
every-
he seems to have olive
slightly.
skin. No, that's Greek. Anyway, and I mean,
I know what you mean.
If
And the kids
Linda,
kind of look like they are sort of.
they have a little darker skin, yeah.
Yeah.
And if Linda Cardellini, I mean, she's part. Well, that's not South American, but Italian. Cardellini is Italian.
That sounds
so
Italian.
if she plays,
I don't know. I just because the name is in Spanish and the curse is a Hispanic legend. It just made sense to have more Hispanic people, but I mean, you do have everyone except for the main.
yeah, it is basically everyone except for the black cop who seems to be a love interest, but then kind of disappears.
No, it's her boss.
No. That's the older guy. The younger, hip-looking guy with the gray suit.
Yeah, Detective Cooper.
Yeah, because he comes over for dinner and they're drinking wine, but then he's only in the scene where the other CPS agent comes over, and then he's gone. And the other CPS agent is Asian. Some.
You mean
Asian?
Donna?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. Her name is Irene King. I don't know how to interpret that. That could be some sort of Asian. Yeah, I guess.
But what's her real name?
No, Irene King.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
The character is called Donna,
Oh, okay.
and the actress is Irene King.
Yeah.
Keng.
But then, other than that, most of the, there's she's Asian. You can see that.
I guess.
That's not racial profiling. She's Asian. Anyway,
Yeah,
other
I'm
than
not
that, most of the
thinking
characters are Latin American or South American.
Yeah, but I thought the main character would be as well.
Anna, she might be.
Linda Cardellini, Anna, nah. I think she's just
No,
a white woman who married a Hispanic dude.
Well, she's Italian, Irish, German, English, Scottish, of course, but Italian from her grandfather. So.
What does that have to do with the Latin America, though?
Because her kids and her
father. I guess.
There's a
Never
bunch
mind.
of.
I just thought the main character would be Latin American as well, but yeah, that was like it just threw me off. I didn't realize that she was the main character, like having the things happen to her. I thought she would be like the caseworker only when I like read she was in it.
But who did you think was going to be the main character?
I don't know.
She's the only one who's in the movie.
I didn't actually watch the trailer before this.
No, but like in the movie, who else could it have been?
No. Once I saw the movie, but when I read about it, I thought it would be someone else.
But she's top billed.
Yeah, that's because she's Linda Cardellini.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean she has to be the main character.
Okay.
Or that she would be the mother. I don't know. Whatever. I just didn't think so. I still think the movie is top in The Conjuring. I'm not going to say the best, but top.
No, it's better than A Nun, but it's still like in the lower ranks for me.
I think it
like
it's. See, I have a hard time actually ranking them all because most of them have something that is really good about them.
Yeah, but you gotta be able. Most movies have something that's good about them. You can still rank them. Excuse me.
Yeah, but when I'm like trying to do it, it's like, but that one has that thing that makes it very good, and that one has that thing that makes it very good. So I can't really like decide which part is the better part. Like for rewatch value, I'd probably rewatch The Curse of La Llorona more than I'd rewatch any of the actual Conjuring movies.
What?
But then maybe Annabelle Comes Home might beat that still. So maybe La Llorona comes second. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but rewatchability isn't everything. Like let's.
No, that's what I'm saying. Because like if you look at how they were directed and written, then The Conjuring 1 and 2 are the best.
Yes, but let's try and rank them. This is the last episode, at least until The Conjuring 3 comes out. We'll do another episode then, of course. But for now, this is the Conjuring trilogy. Let's rank them. Let's go from worst to best. Do you want to do a separate list or together list?
You could do a together list, because I'm not sure.
Okay, so the worst one...
It's easier to, like, debate it when you're trying to make a communal list.
Sure. So, how many are... What do you say? Seven movies. Seven movies. So, seventh place. I argue it's either Annabelle or The Nun.
Yeah.
Would you say any other is up there?
No. I'd say Annabelle is the absolute worst.
Okay, I'll agree to that. So it's Annabelle, and then the second worst. We gotta kind of do it like a bracket.
Yeah.
So so The Nun goes on. But then what is?
Then it's The Nun versus Annabelle Creation, I guess.
Wait, which one do we have? We have La Llorona, we have Nun, Annabelle Creation, Annabelle Comes Home, Conjuring movies.
Creation, when the kids get to the house.
The house where they make the doll. Yeah.
Yeah. The Nun is.
I would say
boring,
the Nun versus La Llorona.
Oh.
I would say that Annabelle Creation is right above that. Right above these two.
What if you put The Curse of La Llorona versus Creation? Which is the worst?
Okay, should we agree then that The Nun is number 6?
I guess, yeah.
Okay, so we'll take that out of the equation. So we have Annabelle, The Nun, and now we take La
Create
Llorona and
and
Creation.
yeah. See, it's difficult.
Of course it's difficult. That's why we're doing it, because it's fun.
For me, it's still like the nun gets a plus just because it's so cool looking.
Yeah, but that doesn't. For me, that doesn't. It doesn't.
Save it, no,
Doesn't
not
save
really.
it. Unfortunately, that's a good part of it, but it's ultimately a terrible movie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, no. Let's leave it there. Yeah.
And my
La Llorona
argument,
versus Creation.
yeah, pros for La Llorona, um, Linda Cardellini, but
Definitely.
that doesn't count because it's just because I think she's hot. That's not a. I don't think
That's not a valid.
that's not a valid pro.
No, not
I mean,
really.
it is purely subjective, but you know that doesn't count because then
No.
I'd put the nun pretty high up as well because Taisa Farmiga. Anyway, let's move on from that. That's not. Let's talk about the quality of the movie instead.
Yes.
Creation, lots of creative stuff going on with the visuals of the demon at least.
The different shape it takes on and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad jump scares, but I mean you have that in La Llorona as well.
Yeah.
Uh, the fact that it's Annabelle.
The fact that it's Annabelle is
It's a bad
honestly
thing.
yeah, that's a bad thing.
I know it's a bad thing.
I think almost that movie feels too cheesy.
It is too cheesy, but there's something about, especially the later ones, Llorona and the Nun. They feel cheap somehow, almost on the
Yeah,
same level of Annabelle.
production value is definitely lower.
Even though I like the early '70s aesthetic of La Llorona, there's something, it just feels cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like they did the early 70s just because they didn't want to put technology in it because it costs money to get technology kind of thing.
But I mean,
Like it would be more expensive to put a bunch of fancy ass computers in the office instead of typewriters.
yeah. But what would you say? Fifth place, Creation or La Llorona?
Man, I don't know. it's like three cons versus three cons. I can't really decide which one weighs heavier.
Yeah. Which one is scarier?
Oh,
Because it's a horror
Creation.
movie. Creation.
Yeah. La Llorona? La Llorona isn't scary, to be honest. It's more almost adventure to me.
Yeah, especially towards the end.
Yeah, so maybe La Llorona is
Fifth.
slightly lesser. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then
But
we
they're
have.
very close.
Then we have. I'm guessing we'll almost not count Conjuring 1 and 2. They're obviously in the top. So then it's
Yeah.
only Creation and Comes Home.
Yeah, but Comes Home is definitely better than Creation.
Okay, so we'll put Comes Home as fourth. Creation as fourth.
Yes, and Comes Home. But that's the thing though. Is Comes Home isn't that almost better than The Conjuring?
I was gonna get to that. I didn't think you thought that, but I argued that it was almost the best one when we talked about it in our Patreon episode, which you can listen to if you're a Patreon on the $3 tier.
Yeah, since then I've watched two more movies and I've had time to think.
Okay. Well, hello. Let's hear it then. What do you
I'm
think about
still-
it now when you've processed it?
Well, when we were talking about it in the episode, I did start to agree more and more with what you were saying.
Sure,
Still, some of it
partly,
still
but
felt
you still
yeah, there were still
love
things
it.
that felt cheap and like some of the physical scares are too physical for me.
Sure,
I'm not a fan of the physical scare when it's supposed to be a ghost or a demon.
yeah.
Put a murder in there if you want physical scares.
That was a problem for me as well.
Yeah, but thinking of all the lore they actually put into it and all the lore they explore and like actually show, it gives it more of it fleshes it out a bit more. And thinking about the characters, well, you have more characters that are more fleshed out, because in the Conjuring 1 and 2 the only characters you actually care about are Ed and Lorraine
Yeah, well, there's
and their relationship basically. But it is the same exact relationship in the first one and the second one. It doesn't feel like there's a development of it.
it's not developing a lot. No, that's true.
It's just
They
the
face a
same
different
fears,
struggle in the
basically.
second one because she's actually like afraid of him dying. There's a different struggle, but it
Yeah, but
is
it's
kind of
just
samey.
shifted. 'Cause in the first one, he's basically afraid of her dying or locking herself up.
Yeah. In the
In the
second one, it
second one,
switched.
she's
Yeah.
afraid of him dying. So
Yes.
it's the
Yes.
same thing, just switched.
Yes.
So
Yeah. There's
it
not a
kind
lot
of
of.
cheapens it.
Yeah. It's not a lot of development. There's enough, I think,
Yeah,
because it is
definitely.
ultimately it is a horror movie. But I'm glad that they put at least some effort into developing the
Yeah,
characters.
yeah, that is the best
But
part of it, though, the characters' chemistry and dynamic.
yeah. But Annabelle Comes Home. You were talking about Annabelle Comes Home.
Yeah, because in Annabelle Comes Home, you have a clearer and more interesting character development arc over three characters. Almost four, if you want to count Bob.
Wow, not Bob.
He's a half, three and a half.
Three.
Yeah.
Because for Mary Ellen, I remember her name
Oh,
this
good
time.
job.
She is probably the one with the weakest arc. She's just a
Yeah,
goody two shoes.
there's not a lot to develop about her.
No, there's definitely more about Judy and
Daniela.
Daniela. Right.
You got one of them at least.
Yeah, Daniela almost being the heart of the story, even though it's a Judy-centric movie, which I like.
It's because she has a clearer motive that's
Yeah.
more relatable.
Yeah. And that's yes, and I'm glad you discovered this now. And the characters, because I watched some reviews of it. I'm gonna badmouth a YouTube reviewer here, Chris Stuckman. He's probably one of the more popular, like mainstream reviewers. He just panned it completely. He hated it, and talked about like there's no character building, there's no character arc, there's too many jump scares. I was like, what movie did you watch? I think he was just burned out on Conjuring movies, though.
That's what I felt when I was watching it. But then when we started talking about it, details like popped up that you mentioned, like, yeah, okay, maybe that is true when you think about it.
Yes.
I'm usually against overthinking movies. Yeah, but in this case, you had to like pay attention to the details to actually see the story progress properly.
Yeah.
Or the characters in this case.
And like I said then, also, like, this is not like a masterpiece, but it's good that they actually paid attention to detail and character arcs in a movie like this, like, because you don't expect it. That's why I was so surprised by it.
Yeah. Yeah, and since I've rewatched The Conjuring a few times now since it premiered.
Yeah.
It's not as exciting to watch it again, but I feel like The Conjuring 2 was as exciting to watch it again. I mean, I haven't seen it that many times.
Yeah.
But it was more exciting to rewatch The Conjuring 2 than it was to rewatch The Conjuring 1. And I feel like rewatching Comes Home,
yeah,
will be equally as exciting as the first time.
Yeah, I haven't rewatched it. For me, I'm thinking maybe it'll be less good though. I don't know, but we'll find out.
Everything is slightly less good
when you
rewatch it. Yeah, because I've seen it. It's not a surprise anymore.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I did enjoy rewatching both Conjuring 1 and 2.
Well, yeah, but the Conjuring 1 felt just less exciting in general. Not just because I've seen it too many times. It's just, I don't know.
I would go the opposite, but not because Conjuring 2 is a worse movie, because that's scarier, so it's harder to watch. I'd rather watch the first one. It's not as scary.
We're talking about, so I'm gonna give Extra Scare a plus.
Okay.
So
yeah, sure. I mean, it's
Conjuring 2 is slightly better than Conjuring 1, just because it is scarier.
Okay. So for third place,
Conjuring 1 for third place.
And then Annabelle Comes Home on second place?
And then Conjuring 2 the first.
Okay.
I think.
I mean,
this might change with the mood and whatever.
Oh, of course.
But for right now, that feels right.
I would, yeah, like I said when we talked about Annabelle Comes Home on our Patreon exclusive episode.
Stop.
Yeah, I would put it up there, but I would hesitate to put it above any of the Conjuring movies. And maybe that's only because it's a spin-off and I'm being cynical. I'm not sure.
I mean, there are
I'm
things.
trying to think like how
Conjuring
much
is
I loved
also
it. No, honestly, no. As much as I loved it, like I said, I laughed, I screamed, I
I cried.
cried. It was a total package for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because even though the Conjuring one was so, oh, we said a specific word, revolutionary almost in the horror genre.
Yeah, it really stepped it up a notch when there was so much crap around that
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
the horror in it though isn't horrific. Like it's not that scary. While the horror in Conjuring 2 and Comes Home is actually scary.
I disagree about that. I think it is actually scary. It has some really good scares and not just jump scares. I think.
Well,
And I really like the ending. When they're everyone's reaching into the walls and
oh
grabbing
yeah,
Bathsheba slash fuck what the mother's name is
Mary,
Carolyn.
Carolyn. I don't know
Um,
where I got
and
Mary from.
I love that, and it's such a happy ending. I mean, the second one has a happy ending as well, but I definitely
Yeah, but
feel
that
like
ending is very impactful. That is true.
we get to know the Perron family a lot more than the Hodgsons in the second one. We have much
That is
better
true.
connection to that family.
That is true. I mean, when you think of The Conjuring, you think of the first Conjuring because of the parent family and obviously the Warrens.
Yeah.
That's true.
Scares, yes. The second one definitely has much more scares because Bill
And better
Wilkins and Valak
scare.
are fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard. One wins because of uh, um, like it's a well crafted movie. The other one wins because it's a well crafted movie, slightly
With
less well
scare.
crafted, but it's really fucking scary, and it is a
Yeah.
horror movie. So, although you know what, let's do this. That's not fair either. God damn it. We gotta fucking wrap it up here. Um,
You know what? Let's say they all kind of tie,
yeah,
and we need people in the comments to help us decide.
yes.
Uh,
Um,
on at least on YouTube. I'm not sure how you can leave comments on the other apps,
no,
sites.
no, it's easy. We do it like this. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave your rankings for the entire franchise or for just your top three or whatever. Leave it in the comments below the podcast, this podcast episode. If you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes or whatever, hit us up on Twitter or Instagram.
Well, that's
It's
true. Twitter. Yeah.
Instagram at the
The
Spoilercast,
Spoilercast.
and on Twitter it's at the Spoilercast _.
Yeah, links are everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. There's links everywhere. So just leave your comments on what you think the order should be.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, Conjuring 1, 2, and Annabelle Comes Home, they're almost interchangeable for me at this point.
Yeah, and the more you talk about it, it's the harder it gets to actually like decide what makes that specific one just a little bit better.
Yeah. Or if you are a Patreon supporter, of course, you can leave comments on there as well.
Yeah, of course.
Just
of
leave it
course.
as a message or a comment on, I don't know, whatever episode.
Yeah.
But we'll leave it at that. And if we get any comments, we'll talk about it in the next free episode, which is next
Yeah, we'll
Thursday.
mention it.
Yeah. So we'll wrap it up there.
Yes.
So we should mention though, because next week is going to be a special episode. Do you remember?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's next Thursday.
Next week. Oh,
Yes.
Lord.
So for next Thursday, we are watching a new movie, sort of new. It came out early 2021.
Yes.
It's The Empty Man, which some people it kind of came and went because it was the last movie that 20th Century Fox released before they got devoured by Disney. And it's supposed to be very, very interesting movie, almost like they released it out of spite because they were being bought up by Disney.
Right, yeah. I actually almost forgot we decided this, but yes.
Yeah, we're doing a live commentary track. I mean, live if you're watching it on YouTube, of course.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it in the same room. We're gonna be in my living room / bedroom and watching it. So that's gonna be different. Doing a live commentary track for a movie none of us has seen before.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah. Then, of course, this Monday we're doing another Patreon exclusive episode. We're not sure what that's going to be about, though.
No.
So if you're a patron, leave a comment. We'll talk about that movie maybe.
Or maybe we'll just stick with the horror theme. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
But check it out to see what we actually end up talking about.
Exactly. If you want to hear the patron exclusive episodes, check us out and subscribe on Patreon. For just a couple of bucks a month, you'll get, like we mentioned, exclusive episodes, commentary tracks. Eventually, you're gonna get exclusive videos. There's some exclusives now, but it's gonna be more. And you'll help us stay afloat and evolve the show for just a couple of bucks a month. Or if you just want to subscribe to the YouTube channel or follow us on Spotify or iTunes or wherever, that's greatly appreciated as well. Spread the word. Tell all your friends about this amazing podcast so we can grow. That being said, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. But until then, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.